Hey there, it's Keith Hayden, and welcome back to the Digital Novelist Podcast. This is my first episode in months, mainly because I've been busy working on a new book, and it's going to be out this Friday. Prompted Hearts and Grief Algorithm is a techno romance duology. It's two novels in one about a husband and his ex wife who comes back into the picture, but he's already falling for a woman that's deeply connected with AI. You can find more information about it on my website. Today, I'm going to be talking about my progress on this audiobook, and it's a hell of a thing about audiobooks because they seem like, when you listen to them, they sound so seamless. But I can tell you from having produced multiple podcasts and multiple audiobooks, professional audiobooks, that it's a pretty lengthy and messy process. And today I spent about an hour or so editing, and I got 4 minutes of finished audio. That's actually pretty good. um, and it was a big turning point because this is an important scene in the first novel, Prompted Hearts, where the main protagonist, Sam, is on a date with a fellow doctor. Sam is basically, he begins the story indifferent to AI. He sees it as, like a lot of people do, as a tool, a gateway to efficiency and to make his life as a doctor easier. But then he goes out with Nicole, and Nicole has the complete opposite take. Uh, she is staunchly anti AI and reflects many of the arguments that I've heard and read about the cases against AI. You know, the environment, how it steals jobs, it's soulless, it's basically cheating. That's what a lot of the under um, behind people's hate for AI. It feels like it's cheating. Like you're not actually drawing, you're not actually making music. I've heard all these things. So Nicole reflects a lot of those arguments, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about this, creating this brief scene today, and without too many spoilers. Couch. She is still talking.
Nicole, I think you're overthinking.
Am I? Sam, those things are just horrible, the AI. Didn't you hear? They're bad for the planet, hallucinate like a coked out San Francisco software dev who haven't showered in days, and drink more water than whole countries. Millions, no, billions of gallons go to cool down their systems. Water real people need to survive. Plus, they're stealing jobs from everyone. My mentor in Yokohama used to say, you can't feel a patient's fear through a computer screen. That's not how we heal or help. You know this. I can't see how this doesn't bother you at all. I mean, look, even us trained medical professionals aren't safe. Sam, what are you doing?
Pretty standard day. It was just placing clips. So the process is essentially I've recorded the entire audiobook myself. So I'm using AI voices, ironically, maybe not ironically. I'm using AI voices to bring these two characters to life because I've done the whole, voice act, an entire novel myself pre AI. Just go and find my debut novel, Series Limbic. It's on Spotify, and doing quite well. But I've done that, and a couple of months ago I did an experiment where I just tried AI voices just to see like how it just sounds and how it feels. And it once I listened to it, it was a game changer because just the dynamism. I mean, you will know that my audiobook is AI voices, but they've gotten so good that not only can you not tell, but it does add this level of dynamism that me as a single voice actor just cannot bring. You know, as try as I might, it is very difficult for me to sound like a female. My voice just it doesn't go there, and I can do some tricks with my register, and I can talk like this or something sometimes. But first of all, it's very grating on my voice. It's very tough to do for a sustained period of time, but it's also just not as convincing as just having a different, literally different voice in the mix. So this is my first time creating a hybrid human AI audiobook where I'm narrating the book, but then the dialogue is voiced by AI. So the way I'm doing it is I'm using 11 Labs' voice changer. So like I said, I record the chapters myself, and then I go in and individual clips of the dialogue. So you can imagine this adds a lot more to the workflow because first of all, you have to not only record the whole thing yourself, and I'm acting it out too. I'm not just like reading and the he said and she did. No, I'm actually like acting it out, dramatically reading, I call it, because then that transfers to the AI voices. But first, you've got to clip the dialogue, which means you have to go in and find the dialogue after you finish. Then you have to enter each piece of dialogue into the specific AI voice into 11 Labs to get the clips, and then you have to place the clips back. It's a longer. Don't ever let anybody tell you this isn't a lot of work, because it is. It is a lot more work than just doing the process I did with my first audio drama. The big challenge today was sound effects because I have the clips for this scene. I'm almost done with it. I got through minute 14. I judge my time in minutes as I'm creating the audiobook, because I treat minutes as like waypoints. So when I pass like 15 minutes, 16 minutes, it's like a video. I give myself this like video game type. Okay, I made it to a checkpoint or a save point or whatever. So I got through about 4 minutes, from 14 to 18 minutes today. And I was using freesound.org, and the advantage of using freesound.org is that it's free. Disadvantage is not only are the sound effects uncurated, these are just like random sound effects that random people have uploaded to it, but it's also, you're not guaranteed to find the right sound effects. You may be looking for a while, whereas something like Soundly that I used previously for my last project, audiobook project, then that's easier because it's more curated. The quality of the sound effects is better. But let me talk about the effect of, all of this, because when you're putting this together, it's one of those things. It's just like writing. You can't really see the big picture because I'm not listening to the whole thing. I'm just hearing little clips. I hear my narration. I hear little sound beds that I put in. But when I go back and listen to their back and forth, it does sound convincing. It sounds like these two are, I added some sounds of intimacy, let's say, when the beginning of their date, when it is going well, and then it transitions to this, there's a turning point, and then they're having this argument over AI. Hearing them spar, even if it's just AI or narration, it's kind of an eerie and powerful thing, but it works, but that's after like my own voice, the whole process I've described. It can be lengthy to get there, but I look forward to having people listen to it and be immersed in it, because they're not going to see the Ableton project where I have clips and sounds and EQ and all this other sound treatment. They're just going to hear the experience, and I love that end process. But it made me think of one thing, like AI can generate the voices, but it doesn't have that instinct to know, like it can't assemble this. Like this is all still my creative direction, and when they talk to each other, when sounds come in, and I even put some music beds in there, it all comes together in this project. So yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from today's work session, is that AI can be a substitute for a human voice, but it can't put itself together. It can't put in the hours. And the argument between this, is AI good? Is AI bad? This is very much central to these two novels, Prompted Hearts and Grief Algorithm, which is, I tell people, is AI an angel or a demon? And you'll see the technology used in various capacities. You'll see it filling different roles in the two main characters' lives. Some of these are beneficial, some of these are detrimental. It's all about context, and I've personally seen both in my life. I've seen the tremendous insights I've learned from AI, from working with AI, from talking with AI, from using it on multiple different projects, from music to books to marketing. But then I've also seen the downsides of other people, so-called AI psychosis, and the the potential negatives of X, the isolation that it can have, to where when people pull away from actual real life relationships, instead of being a uh, a supplement, it becomes a substitute, and that's not what I want in my life. Like, it's very much a tool for me, and I want it to remain that way, not crowding out my real relationships. So in the story, like I mentioned, you've got Nicole, Sam's date, who's anti AI. You've got Sam, who's pretty much dismissive of the risks, especially this early on in the story. But then there I sit in between, the human putting their story together. How about that? Um, and I know, like, even though they're arguing about AI, sometimes it can feel like I'm arguing with AI just to get the right voices and where to put it in the story and put it in. So it's a kind of a meta narrative in itself. Um, but that's all I wanted to say about this chapter today. I am looking to make. I hope you enjoyed this brief episode. I'm looking to make the Digital Novelist podcast a more regular occurrence. I don't know if it's going to be every day, or I can't say what the exact cadence will be, but I really enjoy doing this. I like taking what I'm working on and letting you know what's going on, because I basically create things every day. But taking the time out, it takes time to record this. It takes time to make videos and upload and all this stuff. So that's time that I'm very precious with. I'd rather spend it working on the audiobook or working on my next book project, which you can find information about all of that stuff. And you can purchase Prompted Hearts and Grief Algorithm. And now you can read them directly on my website. I've been working on a number of tools and solutions to free myself from the hegemon that is Amazon when it comes to the publishing industry. Things have gotten pretty bad out here lately. And so it's time to, ironically, AI for me has been the liberator, because it's allowed me to make my own tools on my own website, to where I can offer you my book through my website. You don't need a Kindle. You have a phone. Everybody has a phone. Most people have phones. At least most people that would be interested in reading my stuff. So, yeah, you can do everything from the website, and I plan on adding more. I'm actively adding more of my backlist to my website, so I look forward to sharing more about that. Next up, I'm going to continue working on this chapter, and hopefully it'll be out. And one thing I've been doing is, when I finish a new project, it's temporarily available for you to enjoy on my website as like my latest creation. So I'm trying to do that. And if you are hearing this the week of August 26th through the 30th of 2025, and you are in the Las Vegas area, I'm going to be at Mad Red Books. It's down basically near Henderson, in the Las Vegas area, doing book signing. So come join me, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digital Novelist Podcast. I'm Keith Hayden. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this if you know other creatives. And you are awesome. And I look forward to seeing or having you listen to the next episode, hopefully. Take care.